No matter where you come from, no matter where you're going, here's the place you can take comfort in knowing whether if you come to stay a while, you're just passing through. This door is open to you. Come and be the silence. Come, let's share a heart. Come, let's pray together. Come, love and be loved. From the bliss down to the turn down. From the pampered to the abused. This door is open to you. So come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. God in us, recognize God in you. Whether you're black or white, gay or straight, Christian, Buddhist, or Jew, this door is open. This door is open. This door is open. This door is open. This door is open to you.
Yeah.
There's some kind of trouble. Open your door to. Know that you are not alone. Someone stands with you as the individual manifestation of divine point of view. This door is open. This door is open. This door is open. This door is open. This door is open to you. So come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. God in us recognizes God in you. Whether you're black or white, gay or straight, Muslim, Buddhist, or Jew, this door is open. This door is open. This door is open. This door is open. This door is open to you. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
It is such a joy to see you. Is this in the right place? It is such a joy and a privilege to be with you here in this room and out in the ethers and forevermore. What a treat it is to see you. Welcome to New Thought Community's Sunday celebration. My name is Reverend Carol Ann Rubin. I'm your host, and I'm also your speaker today. My topic is just like you, and my practitioner is Reverend Susan Bosdick. Yeah, a little word about practitionership. It's the bread and butter. If you've heard me say this before, you've heard it 1,000 times. If you heard it once, it's the bread and butter of what we do, but I really mean it. It is the foundation of our practice that you can master your experience of life by mastering your thoughts. So practitionership is, practitioners are a set of people who have a set of skills. They've been practicing this mode for a long time, and they have a proven track record of their way of doing it. So they're just here to lend their amplification to your perspective. So if there's something in your life that is presenting as a challenge, bring it. Write it down on a prayer treatment request form. They're in the lobby. They're also on our website. Fill out a prayer treatment request, and we'll Susan will pray for you for the next 30 days. If you have something in your life that feels like a celebration or something you would like to expand and have more of, bring that too. That stuff can get bigger. You can have more. You ever have one of those moments where, you realize that every time something goes wrong, you go, I knew it. And every time something goes right, you go, I can't believe it. Well, what if we flipped that? Use prayer treatment. When something goes right, you go, yeah, I knew it. You can have more. That by itself is a powerful declaration. I knew it. I knew the good thing was coming. So let's expand on that concept, shall we? Susan's going to practice anyway, so you might as well add your requests to her practice. We're all going to sing together now. You ready? Mm-hmm. All right. Stand up if you got it in you. Let's sing. I'll go. It's Om Shanti. Let there be peace in my mind. Let there be peace on the earth. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Shanti, Om. Om Shanti. Peace inside my mind, God and only God is moving me. Peace inside my mind, God and only God I live to see. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Shanti, Om. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Shanti, Om. Om Shanti. Peace inside the earth, God and only God is moving me. Peace inside the earth, God and only God I live to see. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Shanti, Om. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Shanti, Om. Om Shanti. When there is peace in my mind, then there is peace on the earth. Thank you, everyone, for singing along. Now I would like to invite Reverend Lucy up to lead us in opening treatment, Circle of Life.
If you'd all, short people, if you'd all settle in and get ready for treatment. There is one life. That life is the life of spirit, the divine, the universe, whatever name you wish to call it. And each and every one of us is a part of that life. It is all inclusive. And knowing that that is the truth about each of us and about the universe, I know that this service today provides impact on those who need it in a specific way, and that the message is universal, that everything moves easily, with grace, and with ease, and that all of us feel like we have been uplifted. And I release that knowing that it is true. And I say, thank you, God, and so it is. Okay. And now, if I can have the practitioners and the ministers from here or anywhere stand, make a circle. At this time, I'd like you to imagine the pillar of light coming down through the roof that covers the whole room. There is a light of love and a light of healing. And it is here for all of us. And I would like you to place the names of those who may need a little more help into the circle. And I'll start with my family. Amy, Jordan, Jennifer, Tony, Austin, Brock, and Marissa. And now add your own name to the light. Lucy. And breathe in that loving, healing light. We add all governments of the world into the light, knowing that this too is God, that this too is influencing the world for better. And I say thank you, God. And so it is. Now I'd like to welcome anybody that's new here today. We do a little ceremony where we rub our hands together to bring up the loving energy. And as we do this, we imagine it filling our hands and make it overflowing. And then we turn one hand to ourselves and one hand to you. And we say thank you. Thank you for joining us today. The service has been improved by your contribution, whether you understand that or not. And we hope to see you back again. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lucy. Thank you. Now I'd like to invite Rob up. Give us some announcements.
Hey everybody.
Hey Rob. Hey Rob.
Okay, real quick, we've got the community meeting today at 11:30. For those of you at home, we have a link on our Facebook page. I don't know if we put up a link for this specific community meeting, but it's the same link every time. So just find the Facebook page and just page down until you find a community meeting link. That'll be it. I'll see you all online at 11:30. I'm going to set it up in a new kind of, this is an evolving state of community meeting that we're amidst of right now. Partially, it's going to be at Harmony Hall, of course, for anybody who wants to attend live. And then for everybody at home, I'm going to set up the mic and the camera in a way that you can see everybody at the meeting. This will not be broadcasted over online. You're not going to be seen by anybody else besides my screen that I see at the meeting itself. Okay. So this is still a private meeting, but a community meeting. Everyone is welcome to attend, please. And I want to ask for everybody's help because if there is kind of a lack of things being talked about, I will fill that space and I will talk. And I will talk and talk and talk and give anecdotes until somebody says uncle, and then we all go home. So this community meeting is for the community. I have a bare bones set up agenda, thank you, for everyone to look at. But then if anybody has anything to say at all comments are welcome, all questions are welcome, humorous anecdotes are welcome. Please come to the community meeting. Make the community meeting in the version that is all of you. Have it reflect the community, please. That's my only request, tiny request. On Mondays, we have the Reiki Share on Zoom at 6:30. Tuesdays, we have the Spiritual Solutions Recovery Group at 5:30, also on Zoom. And on every Friday we have the band and choir rehearsal at 5:30. And next week, Ashley Herbert will be up here telling us amazing things. That's it. Thank you.
Thanks, Rob. Sweet. Now I would like to invite Joanna to lead us in our vision, purpose, and mission.
Good morning.
Hi, Jean.
Good morning. We're going to do our mission statement. Our vision. We are a spiritually empowered family. Purpose. To remember, experience, and connect with universal truth. Our mission. Our New Thought community is a diverse spiritual family guided by universal principles and devoted to awakening to the divine presence within each of us. We are committed to loving, inspiring, and healing.
Thank you, brother. Okay. Now I would like to invite up Susan Fosdick, but before I do, I just want to say a couple of things. It seems like every time I get to my wit's end and I'm like doing this emotionally, I look over and Susan's looking at me like, I know exactly what you're thinking. I do exactly what you're doing, and it grounds me in a way I can't really express beyond. It is so comforting to know that humanity is universal, and that I can be human and tweak a little and still come back to center and be reminded that that is just a quirk, a choice. I don't have to feel that way. And Susan has a way of grounding me in that. She understands exactly how my brain works, because I think her brain works the same way. Having said that, Susan is a very grounded spiritual entity and has a very clear vision for what is possible with prayer treatment. So I'm so grateful to have her on my team, and now I'm going to get out of the way and let her lead us in reading and treatment.
Today's reading is from Walking Each Other Home by Ram Dass and Mirabai Bush. This person has a body and a mind, just like me. This person has feelings, emotions, and thoughts, just like me. This person has experienced physical and emotional pain and suffering, just like me. This person has at some time been sad, disappointed, angry, or hurt, just like me. This person has felt unworthy or inadequate, just like me. This person worries and is frightened sometimes, just like me. This person will die, just like me. This person has longed for friendship, just like me. This person is learning about life, just like me. This person wants to be caring and kind to others, just like me. This person wants to be content with what life has given them, just like me. This person wishes to be free from pain and suffering, just like me. This person wishes to be safe and healthy, just like me. This person wishes to be happy, just like me. This person wishes to be loved, just like me. This person is a fellow human being, just like me. And so with that, just breathe in and find that God space within you and settle in for treatment. There is only one power and one presence, one intelligence in and through all things. It shows up as the vibration of love. Each of us is a divine piece of that one presence, that one power of love. It is within each of us. We may express individually in human form, but we are all connected by this divine presence, this holy vibration. It is the truth of our being. And in that knowing, we step into this human experience, remembering our divine connection to each other, and we bring it forth in our human connections. Just as we are connected by that divine presence, which is never changing, in humanity, we are connected by the same human thoughts, emotions, feelings, and desires. And with that knowledge, we remember to act in love, to share our love with those around us. And when we see situations where suffering or need is happening, we shower that love upon the situation, upon the people. We share it freely. I am so very thankful for this experience of being human and this ability to share it with each one of you. And I just release all of this out into the universe, knowing my words are done. It is all perfect. It is all well. And I say, thank you, God. And so it is. Oh. Namaste.
So moving from that space of treatment into meditation, just allow this music to carry you.
May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. And may I be happy. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease, and may you be happy. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be peaceful and at ease, and may we be happy. I am filled with loving kindness. I am well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be happy.
So gently coming back into the room. Wiggle your fingers and toes. blink your eyes, and come back to us because we're going to switch it up a little. We don't want to shock you. Thank you.
Gotta see Claudia.
Gotta see Claudia. It's important.
Hello, my friend, it's been a while. All our old clothes are back in style. We went our separate ways, only to return to face a lesson we failed to learn. We didn't understand the truth, blinded by the eyes of you. Time kept on moving, and a change has come. You think that I don't know where you're coming from. Well, I feel just like you, and I cry just like you, and I heal just like you. Under my skin, I'm just like you. You gave your love and your innocence.
They took away your confidence. I'm not those women.
I'm not those men. Put your arms around me.
I am your friend, 'cause I feel just like you, and I cry just like you, and I heal just like you. Under my skin, I'm just like you and everybody else. When I get hurt, I cry for help. And I've got secrets that God only knows. And God knows I feel just like you, and I cry just like you. I heal just like you, and I break down just like you. I feel just like you, and I cry just like you. And I'm weak just like you. Under my skin, I'm just like you.
I get the honor of introducing our speaker today. I'm just, I want to say how blessed I am that I am walking through life on this path with her. I've been through ministerial classes with her, and just truly thankful to be able to call her my friend. She walks through life with a big, open heart and is committed to almost what I was going to say. And it's just committed to approaching everything with this loving kindness that flows from her heart. And so I'm just very excited to introduce. Before I say that, actually, I got a sneak peek at her talk. And I'm super excited to find out how it actually all unfolds. I was so intrigued last night. So I am just super excited to introduce Reverend Carol Ann Rubin.
Hi, everyone. Hello. I don't know about you, but I have a job where I'm in my car a lot, and I listen to a lot of podcasts. It's kind of my new thing. And when I'm not listening to true crime or comedians or crazy music, I am listening to a guy called Ezra Klein. He has a podcast called The Ezra Klein Show. Mm-hmm. And he had this one about octopuses. Discovered that octopi is incorrect, so I'm going to have to say octopuses a lot during this service. I hope you can bear with me. And he interviewed a woman by the name of Cy Montgomery, who wrote a book called The Soul of an Octopus. Octopuses are kind of having a big heyday right now. There's books on them out. There's a series of a documentary about them. What I learned from my octopus teacher. There's just a ton of stuff. They're having a big heyday. Octopuses. And I'm like, okay, I always thought that was like the place you go when you're at the aquarium when you need to just chill out. You go and you sit and you watch the octopuses in their tank. And it's mesmerizing. It's phenomenal. They don't look like they're that smart because they're just kind of floating around and hiding out. But they're brilliant. They're phenomenal. So the question that came to my mind was, why now? Why are we looking at this now? And a lot of my facts or stuff that I'm going to talk about came from this podcast. So if you go back and listen to the podcast, there's lots more on this subject. But one of the things was that we humans have undergone kind of a transformation. We used to think that only humans had minds worthy of being studied, that only humans had intelligence, measurable, a benchmark of this is intelligence, this is what it looks like, this is how we measure it. And then back in 1960, Jane Goodall, right around 60, was the first to come out and say, you need to look at these other critters in the wild and recognize what they actually are and how they actually are with each other. Animals are far more complex than we had previously imagined. They must be studied as individuals. You can't say, this is what gorillas are like, any more than you can say, this is what human beings are like. And yet, you can, in some respects, because we are all connected, right? We are all one. Same thing holds true in the animal kingdom. But we are more like them than we ever thought before, and yet they are profoundly different. Octopuses, so why now? We've long since then, since that time, since the 60s, had this, or even before that, but it kind of exploded in the 60s, this fascination we have for aliens. How much sci-fi has been produced since the 60s? I mean, it's an enormous portion of our, at least in America, our social consciousness. The movies, TVs, literature, there's just a ton of it. And octopuses are kind of like aliens that we can meet in our world on the regular. Whenever we want to turn our attention to it, we can be phenomenally blown away by this alien creature living on our planet. They can do a number of things that seem to defy logic. Like they're this mass, they're this made of matter, but they can pour themselves into the tiniest little crack in the coral. They are tiny. I mean, they're big, but they can make themselves tiny. They're made of matter, but they move like fluid, like liquid. They can also jet away from you faster than you can swim. They can produce a cloud of ink that not only distracts your eye, but can mimic its own shape. So it looks like it's still there, and meanwhile it disappears. I don't know about you, but I have tried putting drops of ink into water and it does whatever it wants. I don't know how to make it look like an octopus, but they do. How do they know that? How do they know that? Well, effectively, octopuses have 9 brains. Each independent arm has its own thinking center, and then there's one big brain in the middle. And each of these arms can appear to make decisions all on their own, and then the one in the middle has to respond and integrate all of these concepts. They even come to hypothesize that some arms are bold and want to go and taste and touch and feel all the things, and other ones are shy and like, why are you going in there? What's happening? So the brain in the middle has to integrate all of this and has to figure out how to be shy and bold at the same time. I can't help thinking that maybe it was hypothesized that they're like 8 little child brains, and then there's the one big parent brain in the middle. And I couldn't help thinking, that's what we are. We're a whole bunch of little child brains, and we connect into the one mind. We connect into the one connecting mind that is always available to us. I'm super grateful that there is one mind. Octopuses can taste with their entire bodies, including their eyelids. Imagine that everything you encounter in your entire world, and remember, it's not like I'm over here, I'm an octopus, and I'm over here, and something's way out there. They are immersed in their environment. Everything in their environment touches them with liquid, right? So everything they taste, everything, all the time. That's a lot of information. If you watch octopuses swim and move in the ocean, it's really hard to maintain that concept that we humans are the benchmark for intelligence, because they know things we don't know. They can sense, the shark behind you before you're even aware that it's there, because it is touching its entire universe all the time. It's tasting and touching. Also, it has these neat little suction cups. Oh yeah, did I talk about suction cups? I don't have the number of how many there are, but with these suction cups, not only are they incredibly strong, they can move large objects, they can move themselves very quickly, but the suction cups that at the tentacle, at the ends, they are so delicate that they can untie knots in surgical silk. So that's some power, to be able to move big things and have the delicacy of little tiny things. It's unfathomable to a land mammal like myself, as we historically think of strength as like solid power, big gorilla, that's strong. That's a strong creature, right? Also, Ezra specifically said that he thinks of solidity like that being as intelligence too. So might makes right. We've discovered that that's not necessarily so. But it's interesting that there's kind of a holdover in that logic, right? We tend to think that intelligence is something that we humans own, and that the animals that are most like us are also the most intelligent, big, beefy land animals, right? Ones that live long and have lots of social connections. However, an octopus is, first of all, a marine animal. It lives in the ocean its entire life. It is an invertebrate. It has no, measurable power by the concept of, this big beefy land animal. They're largely unsocial, and they only live about 4 or 5 years. So we normally, under the old rubric, we would put them in the category of, they're not like us, they must be less intelligent. I find that fascinating. So this creature that is brilliant and capable of understanding and processing much more information much more rapidly than we can, is liquid and is made of matter but moves like liquid in the ocean and somehow maintains its integrity. It explodes the ideas that we have about the way the world works. Sy, even the author of this book, once she discovered that she was making profound relationships with each of the individual octopuses that she met. They would come and taste her and greet her and change color and express things to her through their movements and how close they got, how quickly they came, the colors they changed, things they brought with them as gifts for her. And she soon decided that her book had to reflect not her empirical research as she had been trained, but the book had to be about her individual friendships with individual octopuses. That's pretty powerful. When you can take a scientist and move them off of their empirical measurements and have them moved to write their book about relationships with octopuses. I love this. Recounting of her friendship. This fascination is one that I hope that each of us can bring to our relationship with each other. If we can set aside our idea of what brilliance and power look like in octopuses, can we set those aside and see each other's hearts and honor that divinity in them and in us? And we humans think we're all that with the opposable thumbs, right? This is where I was going to talk about those little tiny knots. But they can also create habitats anew out of nothing. This wasn't actually in the podcast, but I have read this, that they are put in a tank where they think that they're not actually, they don't have any material to use other than, sand or rocks or, or plastic things, and they create something out of nothing without moving things. They just fit themselves into it. They can make a home for themselves by adjusting themselves rather than the environment, which I think is phenomenal. On their eyes. Their eyes don't have any of the structures that we think of as the structures in our eyes that allow us to see color. So we don't have any evidence of there's nothing to suggest that they can see color, except, of course, their entire lives, where they, at a moment's notice, can blend into, within seconds, can blend into any environment and become virtually invisible. So we don't know how they know this, or how they do it, or how they can even perceive it. But we know that they can because of the way that they live. Phenomenal. So they have all these superpowers that we can only dream of. Such an awareness of the world around them that we lack. We don't need it, but they do. They are constantly being flooded with this information that we don't have. We cannot fathom the depth of their experience or their intelligence, but we can witness them and we can honor them. Maybe we can be friends with them. If you think about it, each of us we don't really know how humans think. We only know how each of us think. I can't really know how Susan thinks. Even when she reflects in her face, I'm thinking the way you're thinking. That's still my perception. I only know how I think. So we can't really know how octopuses think. And we can't really know how other people think. But we have the ability to communicate with one another if we will expand our consciousness of what communication is. And listen with our hearts. Listen with new senses that maybe we haven't had to employ before. Oh, this is funny. Sai says, if you think about it, each of us really only know ourselves and the way we think. We can't really know how other humans think. She says, if I could, I would probably give my husband better birthday presents. I love that. So if we can accept and celebrate the expansive discoveries being made about octopuses, let's do the same with each other. I am the same, I am different. This holding of both thoughts is tricky, but we who are aware that we're on a spiritual path, we are uniquely positioned to hold these thoughts, to accomplish that. We have each other. We have a family to rely on, to remind us that no matter where our thoughts go or where our emotions take us, we are connected. We are profoundly rooted to one another. Our mission, should we choose to accept it, is to remember the oneness. Remember the inherent dignity we share as divine sparks walking around on two legs. I, for one, am going to let humility, love, and unity be my guiding principles. I am willing to experience my experience. I am willing to share my experience as best I can. I don't know your experience. I honor your experience. And I love you, no matter what. Love, unity, family, friendship. These are not dependent on the fact that we are alike, or even that we share life experiences. And Michael Beckwith says this about love. Love is not an emotion or a romantic notion. It is a living, organically powerful energy that holds together the fabric of the created world. That's for me. And this guy is a famous French author whose name I can't pronounce. I practiced it a bunch, but with my heart in my throat, I'm going to be able to say it. I think it's Antoine Saint-Exupéry, something like that. I never studied French. Anyway, if you look up Antoine de Saint, it'll come up. But he says, he who is different from me does not impoverish me, he enriches me. And Eckhart Tolle says, whatever the present moment contains, accept it as if you had chosen it. That's a relief when you can do that. It is not inflicted upon you, it is chosen by you in your relationship to Spirit. And I'll leave you with this. Something I found on Facebook. I'm embarrassed to say how many things I see on Facebook that really inspire me. I used to read a lot more books, I just have to tell you. But this is specifically from Facebook. It's by an author called Beverly Greer, and she's recounting an experience she had. She says, sometimes I just wanted to stop. Talk of COVID, protests, looting, brutality. I lose my way. I become convinced that this new normal is real life. Then I meet an 87-year-old who talks of living through polio, diphtheria, Vietnam protests, and yet is still enchanted with life. He seemed surprised when I said that 2020 must be especially challenging for him. No, he said, slowly, looking me straight in the eyes. I learned a long time ago not to see the world through printed headlines. I see the world through the people that surround me. I see the world with the realization that we love big. Therefore, I choose to write my own headlines. Family drops everything to come to Grandma's bedside. He patted my hand. Oh, I missed one. Husband loves wife today. And he patted her hand. Old man makes new friend. His world collide with my worries, freeing them from the tether I had been holding tight. They float away. I am left with a renewed spirit. My headline now reads, Woman overwhelmed with the spirit of kindness and the reminder that our capacity to love is never ending. Oh.
You know what? I forgot to get ushers. Do we have ushers? I completely forgot about ushers. Here's a basket. Sorry, I had a few hats today. Right. Before we do the offertory, when should we do this? Should we do this now, Wanda? Okay. I'm going to ask Wanda to come up. Before we do the offertory, hold on a second. Can I get you guys to just sit up here for a second? We're going to do a little announcement, and then we're going to do an offertory prayer. That's okay. You sit down for a second.
I feel terrible today about last week. Good morning again. Amazing community, let me tell you, we're thrilled to announce that we've returned to being in the sanctuary, and it's wonderful to see you all. For those at home, you can join us in person at 10 o'clock, and we will be live streaming for those who'd like to join us from home. But as the pandemic begins to recede, we have the opportunity to return to our space and to be in closer contact. NTC is a place for community, for growth, for connection, for healing, for love, and for transformation. During this year, though, however, the board and the ministers have kept the health and safety of our community at the forefront of our decisions. We balanced changing local, state, federal rules, guidelines, and headlines with the sacred intention to do what is best for our community. We will continue to do our We will continue to do our best to provide a safe and loving space for all of us. We won't ask you for proof of vaccination, and we won't attempt to control your individual choices because there are many varying factors that affect each person's decision process. But please recognize and support the most vulnerable among our community and wear a mask while in shared indoor spaces. While at the podium or on the dais, you will see that we will not be wearing masks in order to be heard clearly. We simply ask that you keep the health, safety, and best interests of the community in mind and approach one another with the intention of loving kindness and unity. So let us continue to walk through this together, knowing that all is well, all is unfolding as it's supposed to, and we're in the space where we desire to be. We truly appreciate your continued support and your commitment to this New Thought community of Fresno. Namaste.
Okay, Gina. I'll do your magic.
I'm waiting for my turn. It's your turn.
You guys can stand up.
Hi, everybody. So as we go into prayer, just take your money in your hand. I know a lot of us now are tithing through our PayPal account, but if you don't have money in your hand, just energetically fill it with love. And as we step into the awareness that we are abundant and that the more we give, the more we receive, whether it's money, time, love. I'm giving to New Thought community in the way that feeds my soul. I'm giving back for what all I've been given. And I can give in so many ways. There were so many times that I had no money in my hand, but I had a lot of love that I gave. And I just know that it's the law of reciprocity, it's the law of abundance. We are all connected. We give in our way, the way that's comfortable to us. And this is my contribution to keeping the lights on and the bills paid. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Tahoe.
Okay, this next song you guys know, so enjoy. Sing if you want. You can play the game, you can act out the part, but know it wasn't written for you. Tell me, how can you stand there with a broken heart, ashamed and blame? One thing can lead to another, it doesn't take any sacrifice. Oh, father and mother, sister and brother, if it feels nice, don't think twice, just shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna work out fine if you only will. Only will, yeah. Shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna be much better if you only will.
You can run, but you cannot hide. This is why. What you plan to do is foolish pride. You're all by yourself alone. Once you tell somebody the way that you can feel it beginning. Think it's true what they say about the squeaky wheel, always getting a breeze. Shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna be much better if you only will. Shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna be much better if you only will. Oh, shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. They say you never shower the people you love with love. They say the rain must fall. You feel just like the pouring rain. People you love with love. Make it rain. Show them the way that you feel. Make it rain. Shower the people you love, love, love the sunshine. Oh yeah. Make it rain. Shower the people you love, love, love the sunshine. Show them the way that you feel. Oh, shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna be much better if you only will.
Okay, this is the part where we get to give each other a blessing. So stand where you are, make that connection to each other, to Source, and we'll sing Blessed Always. You all can choose.
Okay.
Blessed
be so triumphant that we rest in love and say Amen. Blessed always, blessed always, for the arms of love surround us. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in love and say Amen. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in love and say Amen.
Say community meeting after this? Let's sing home. Meeting is at 11:30.
As soon as I get the camera set up.
1, 2, 3, 4.